Are you looking for 10 best things to do in Tokyo? With extra than 13 million citizens to entertain, Tokyo has lots going on. Start your morning off with breakfast sushi on the world well-known Tsukiji Fish Market, then allow yourself wander off in Japan's giant and exciting records on the Tokyo National Museum or the Edo-Tokyo Museum. Take an hour or an unwind with inside the verdant gardens of the Imperial Palace or the Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. When you are geared up to tackle Tokyo's huge buying scene, head to Ginza, the waterfront Odaiba, or the anime pleasant Akihabara for all matters tech. At the cease of the day, take a boost into the sky at both the Tokyo Tower or the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building for a bird's eye view of the glittering town. And no journey right here might be whole without journeying a number of the town's extra-conventional sites, which include the Sensoji Temple and the religious Meiji Shrine. Here is the list of 10 best things to do in Tokyo. 1. Tokyo National Museum. If you are trying to study a little approximately Japan's records, the Tokyo National Museum is the area to go. This museum is one of the U.S.'s maximum expansive, housing approximately 116.000 portions of artwork and artifacts that cow the longest recorded records of Japan. Strolling through the halls of its several homes, you will spot relics which include samurai armor and swords, sensitive pottery, kimonos, calligraphy, paintings, and lots extra, a number of which might be detailed as country-wide treasures and important cultural properties through the Japanese government. In addition to artifacts from Japan's records, you will additionally locate portions from all throughout the Asian continent, which include Buddhist scrolls that date all of the manor lower back to 607. Travelers had been inspired with all that the Tokyo National Museum has to provide. Even a few who admitted they are not museum humans loved the style of precise artifacts on show. Travelers preferred that the museum featured English translations, something that a few site visitors observed different Tokyo pinnacle points of interest lacked. Museum goers additionally say that there are a lot to peer with inside the Tokyo National Museum, which you possibly want a whole day in case you need to get through everything. 2. Meiji Shrine. The Meiji Shrine is a Shinto shrine committed to Emperor Meiji and Empress Shokin. Japanese records credit Meiji for modernizing Japan through incorporating Western ideas into Japanese society, which include adopting a cupboard gadget into government. After the emperor's demise in 1912 and that of his consort in 1914, the Japanese honored their contributions with the Meiji Shrine. While the homes are absolutely really well worth journeying, the encircling forest is a sight to peer as well. That's due to the fact 100.000 of the bush's status had been all donated through Japanese humans from across the USA as a thanks to Emperor. While at this sort of holy webpage, take time to expose in conventional rituals. When getting into the shrine, you will first meet the torii, or the shrine's huge archway. It's conventional to bow as soon as getting into. On the other hand, whilst you leave, to foreigners, the Temazuya may also look like an ingesting fountain. However, it is honestly a cleaning station in which site visitors have the possibility to purify themselves with holy water. It's not an unusual place to clean your fingers and rinse your mouth out. However, do not drink the water or permit the wood dippers furnished to touch your lips when drawing close the principal shrine. 3. Sensoji Temple. The oldest spiritual web page in Tokyo is likewise its maximum visited. The Sensoji Temple sees approximately 30 million annual site visitors and dates all of the manor lower back to 628, despite its declared to antiquity. However, the systems that presently stand are particularly new reconstructions of preceding edifices all through World War II. Almost the complete temple changed into raised. The Sensoji Temple is devoted to Asakusa Kannon, the Buddhist god of mercy and happiness. According to legend, fishermen struck gold and determined a statue of the god even as fishing at the Sumatra River. The Sensoji Shrine is devoted to this fortunate capture. In addition to functions, a small homage to the fishermen who stuck the statue. Unfortunately, even as right here, you might not be capable of see the real statue. It is there, however it isn't always on public show. It has in no way been. Either manner, Buddhists or involved travelers alike flock to this enchantment with the hopes that being within inside the presence of Kanon's restoration powers will rub off on them. After you've got nicely towards Sensoji, make the effort to test out the stores that line Nakamai's Dori, which you will locate at the manor to the temple. The majority of tourists loved their revel in on the Sensoji Temple. Visitors determined the temple to be lovely and loved admiring its grand stature and difficult architectural details. The most effective grievance amongst tourists changed into with the enchantment. 4. tour Odaiba, envision a mini Atlantis growing out of the water, with no trouble proper subsequent to downtown Tokyo. That's Odaiba. This community, mini island located at the Tokyo Bay, is a hub of leisure, eateries, and fascinating architecture, which include the futuristic searching Fuji television building. Some of the area's pinnacle points of interest encompass the National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation and the enjoyable Odaiba Seaside Park, which comes geared up with its personal seashore and Tokyo's personal Statue of Liberty. There's additionally a number of leisure parks the children will no question revel in. In Tokyo Leisureland and Pallet Town, you will additionally locate go-karts and Megaweb and one of the world's biggest Ferris wheels. There's additionally the Legoland Discovery Center, Diver City Tokyo Plaza, and Dex Tokyo Beach facility gives plenty with inside the manner of eating and buying further to leisure options. Meanwhile, adults will in all likelihood be attracted to the Uedo Onsen Monogatari, a herbal warm springs topic park in which site visitors can stroll around in conventional yukata gowns, even as dipping their feet in one of the 13 kinds of baths to be had. 5. Imperial Palace. You'd assume the Imperial Palace might be mobbed with travelers. However, it is now no longer. You can score the dearth of crowds to an utility policy, which limits the wide variety of site visitors. That's due to the fact the Imperial Palace is domestic to the Emperor of Japan and the royal family, and earlier than that, it changed into the house for a number of Japan's maximum critical figures, which include Emperor Meiji and rulers all through the Edo period. Because of its extensive significance in Japanese society, admittance to the webpage is difficult to get, and entry to inside the real palace is even fewer and a long way between. As such, maximum tourists propose skipping the utility entirely and admiring the compound from afar. Visitors additionally say the East Gardens, which might be a part of the Imperial Palace complex, are an awful lot extra of a sight to peer. This flourishing inexperienced area has masses of shady spots and open fields, ideal for enjoyable and all through cherry blossom season. Those gardens are a desire spot for locals trying to revel in the seasonal foliage. 6. National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation. The National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation, typically known as the Murikan, attests to Tokyo's entrepreneurial spirit and penchant for technological know-how and technological innovation. This high-tech museum functions a plethora of thrilling interactive shows unfold throughout 3 themed everlasting reveals. In Explore the Frontiers, site visitors can find out about area exploration through moving into a version of the International Space Station, which has been autographed through astronauts who hung out there, which include Buzz Aldrin. There's additionally Discover Your Earth, in which you will discover a huge lead-paneled Earth sculpture. In addition to the robotics-heavy Create Your Future exhibit, make positive you get an eyeful of Honda's wonderful ASIMO robotic even is right here. ASIMO has opposable thumbs, can run, or even kick a football ball. Kids will especially revel in the shows as they could touch, climb on, and play with a lot of them. The museum additionally functions technological know-how workshops for children, talks from researchers, and the Gaia 3D Home Theater. 7. Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. There are masses of skyscrapers that offer bird's-eye lookouts in Tokyo. So what makes the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Tower special? It's free, at 202 meters high. Its observatories north and south observatory are the best vantage factors you may attain with inside the town while not having to shred a few yen. Travelers cherished their revel in on the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building as it changed into so bus-free, free admission, few lines, rapid elevator, useful customer support, and no-time regulations on the pinnacle changed into perfect for tourists who had been trying to take their time with the awesome perspectives in the front of them. The observatories provide 360 diploma perspectives of the town, and site visitors say on a clean day, Mount Fuji is seen with inside the distance. If you may, tourists propose journeying at sunset, the transition from day to night, whilst a few say certainly Tokyo involves existence, is magical. 8. Ginza. New York has Fifth Avenue, London has Oxford Street, Paris has the Champs-Élysées, and Tokyo has Ginza. The community is a shopper's paradise, housing all styles of storefronts from affordable, big call shops which include H&M, and Zara to upscale layout homes which include Dior, Armani, and Cartier. You also can locate masses of uniqueness shops promoting conventional items, which include kimonos, incense, and chopsticks, in addition to extra unconventional finds, which include shops committed to buttons, version trains, or even charcoal-infused splendor merchandise. You also can discover a plethora of Hello Kitty merchandise on the Sanrio flagship shop placed right here, in addition to all of the toys your kids' coronary heart dreams on the big Hakulinkin Toy Park. If you are now no longer an awful lot of a shopper, Ginza nonetheless gives masses with inside the manner of factors to do. The community is likewise an arts hub, housing extra than 200 galleries to its call. There also are masses of theaters as well. If you are trying to capture a conventional kabuki overall performance even as in Tokyo, Kabukiza is taken into consideration one of the town's quality, and in case you're a foodie, you will possibly come to be in Ginza anyway. 9. Edo-Tokyo Museum. For extra knowledge of Tokyo's evolution, head to the massive Edo-Tokyo Museum. This expertly designed museum showcases the town's records with huge and small-scale fashions chronicling Tokyo's architectural transformation in addition to recreating Japanese existence through the centuries. Reveals with statues recreate cultural practices and norms of the time. Here, tourists can stroll through Tokyo's humble origins with inside the early Edo period to the Meiji Restoration, the length in which Japan transitioned from conventional to an extra present-day society, encouraged through Western ideas, through the following commercial revolution, beyond the devastation of the world wars, and into present-day metropolis. In addition to fashions of all shapes and sizes, the museum additionally functions ancient and cultural relic site. Visitors can have a look at up close, which include conventional kimono robes and woodblock prints. Overall, tourists had been overjoyed with all that the Edo-Tokyo Museum needed to provide, with many pronouncing they spent almost half of an afternoon right here. Visitors defined the museum as rather informative and exciting and preferred the giant quantity of records on show. 10. Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. Just to the west of downtown Tokyo lies an excellent city oasis. Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden incorporates 144 acres of an experienced area and is precise in that it includes 3 landscaping styles: Japanese traditional, French formal, and English garden. During the spring, the park receives a further enhance and incite visitors for its colorful show of cherry blossoms. If you propose on journeying all through this lovely time, make like a nearby and are available to the park geared up with picnic supplies. Travelers say the Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden is the correct area to get away the hustle and bustle of Tokyo, even in case you do not have a pair hours to spare for a picnic.